Hello, welcome. It's yet another A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek
It is that.
podcast.
It's not even my favorite Star Trek podcast.
What's your favorite Star Trek podcast?
Actually, I guess it would be. I don't have any Star Trek.
Ringo's
podcasts.
not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Paul's an asshole.
Oh, I thought John said that.
John's an asshole.
Yes,
They're
he
both
is.
assholes.
I think the whole quote is apocryphal, though.
Probably. I mean, they're both still assholes.
Speaking of assholes, we're a bunch of assholes as well.
That is true.
We're here to talk about some Star Trek Voyager.
Woo!
As we've been doing for a while now. We're on episode 272.
Woo!
Not just of Voyager, that's of the whole podcast. Of Voyager, we're in season 4 now. Holy crap.
Already?
Which means we're getting closer and closer to the halfway point of Voyager.
That's kind of
It's
crazy.
going very fast.
It really is.
It's better than I was led to believe it would be.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Chakotay isn't as shit as I was led to be.
Neelix isn't as shit.
Yeah, no one,
right?
No one is. Like, again, really,
After this week,
the only problem, like I said before with Chakotay now, is just like when they use him to peddle fake Native American stuff. Which I know will happen at least once or twice more, sadly.
No, they're not doing any of that in the two
They're not,
episodes
no.
that we're covering today. The episodes we're covering today are going to be Random Thoughts and Concerning Flight here on A Star to Steer Her By. I haven't introduced ourselves yet, so let's do it right now. This is Ames.
this is Caitlin.
Jake!
And I am Maestro Chris.
Gross.
That episode sucks.
Insert opening credits here. That's funny. I assumed you'd love it because it's goofy and stupid. So
I fucking hated it.
interesting. Well, the first one we're talking about, we're going to cover Random Thoughts first. Let me give you the quick synopsis of Random Thoughts because this is a week. What did I call it before? It's Black Market Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to take you to the black market.
Oh, episode title.
We're going to buy so much illicit crap. Jake is wearing a Bajoran comm badge for some reason.
It's his mobile emitter.
Where did you get that?
Bajor, obviously.
Bajor.
Oh, good. Neat. Random things just keep happening at this table.
Random thoughts, random things.
Random thoughts. So the random thoughts of that happen are going to be the episode in which we're hanging out with our new terrible friends, the Mari. They're this race of telepaths, and they're trying to sell us a random what's-a-doodle. And they're being major jerks about the whole situation. And they're reading everybody's mind, and everyone's like, stop doing that. That's really kind of, there's a whole consent issue there. Knock it off.
Yeah.
And, I think this is when B'Elanna tramples on some flowers, and
I made the same joke.
and they sentence Wesley to death.
I hate when I get sentenced to death for someone else's flower trampling.
Exactly. No, it's very similar to that episode because it's a whole society where they don't tell you what their goddamn rules are. Because as telepath, Jake's wearing more badges.
And he's got one pip. Does that make you an ensign?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
But that's an admiral's bar, I think.
No, it goes on the chest apparently now.
Yeah.
Neat. Have fun, Jake. Jake is
It
entertaining.
goes on like the shoulder.
Jake has found a way to entertain himself while I do the synopsis. So,
I'm missing a lot of the backings for these pins, so you're just stabbing
You're
me.
stabbing yourself?
He's just jamming them into his flesh. There we go. They look good.
It's how they do hazing in the military, right?
Probably.
no, you use a piece of potato on the other side.
I don't think that's how you do hazing.
No, but that's how you should have fixed those pins if they're jamming in you in the flesh
Oh,
otherwise.
yeah.
Anyway, I've barely started this synopsis. It's
Yeah.
been mostly jokes. While they're trying to buy a what's it of the week, B'Elanna gets, run into by some guy walking by, Frayne, and she's like, hey, watch it, jackass! And everyone's like, something's going on. Oh god, is everyone okay? And then, that guy, Frayne, he just goes and starts attacking people and breaking shit and just being a jerk, and they're like, whoa, stop it, this is supposed to be a society with no violence. Because they've outlawed violent thought, because they're telepaths, don't you know? And they can do that. And they're so proud of how unviolent everybody is. And then they're like, oh, well, let's trace this back to where the thought of violence came from. And dun, 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 it was B'Elanna, the most violent one of us all. And they say, well, the sentence for having had a violent thought earlier when some guy ran into you, I don't know, stepped on your toe and, wasn't nice about it, is we fucking lobotomize you a little bit. Just a little bit. Only a little bit of lobotomy.
A little bit of lobotomy as a treat.
And everyone on Voyager is like, absolutely fucking not. Can we continue investigating this? Because Tuvok's like, investigations? That's my favorite. And Tuvok starts doing an investigation, and he mind melds with Torres for fun, and figures out, after they realize the violent thought is still circling, because an old woman attacked Neelix's new crush and killed the fuck out of her.
So much.
And yet it's still not the old woman's fault, because the violent thought can be traced back to Torres.
And one of the last things that poor bitch saw before she died was Neelix wanting her to stroke his fucking whiskers.
She was super into it.
She was.
Yeah, she wanted to.
So it's okay. Yeah, so Tuvok is figuring it out, like, oh, actually, the dealer that we were talking to, Gweel, seems to have also taken the thought from Torres, and he's a black market guy selling violent thoughts in the darkness of alleys and shit. And Tuvok says, hey Gweel, I got some violent thoughts for you. I mind melded with a guy named Suitor before, and he had a fucking ton of them. Do you want to see? And the guy said, oh... yes.
Bro, his disgusting, creepy boner was my saddest thing. He's so gross. I hate him.
So Tuvok is giving all these like really, really nasty memories, stills from Event Horizon, which Tuvok apparently has seen.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Nice.
Because it's a Paramount movie.
Ah.
So they had the rights. And it's the most violent movie that exists, so Tuvok thought, what's the most violent movie that exists that I've seen? Ah, Event Horizon. Here you go. Watch Sam Neill burning alive. Have fun with that. And the guy, it's overpowering to him, and he's like getting all upset about it, and they realize, oh, it's this guy, it's been this guy all along. His two buddies kind of vanished, but that's okay, we'll talk about them later. And Tuvok tells Janeway, stop the lobotomy, mid-brain saw, and get Torres back up here, because it's not her fault. These guys had planned the whole thing, and you know what? Bitch lady Namira, who's been so bitchy about how her society's so good. If you go ahead and make all these things illegal, it's just gonna make people go to the black market. It's how things work. Mic drop. Hey Torres, you're back. And then 7 has the randomest scene at the end. Do you want to start there?
I want to start with one unimportant fact.
Good, that's the best kind.
Our boy Gweel was a Thermian.
Fun!
Not one of the major ones as far as I can tell, but he might have had like a line or two.
Oh,
like,
that's nice.
Good for Gweel.
Yeah, yes, that was fun. And I feel like next episode, yes, also has a fun little cameo, which I will get to then.
How neat.
Yeah, so what's interesting about that end scene is I feel like they were just like, look, the audience is going to be thinking this, or has been, frankly, for 4 years. But especially in this episode, because I'm just sitting there going like, just leave.
But they have Torres. You can't leave without Torres.
Right, they should have just taken her and left before, like, they had her, you know? Just been like, you know what,
they didn't think these were fucking asshole people. They were, like, Namira and Tuvok were getting so close, I'm pretty sure that their thoughts that they were exchanging were just boning thoughts.
Oh, totally, yeah.
This, and also, they never talk about beaming her out. Like, why can't they just do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They never, like, the assumption is shields, maybe they have, but they never say, so you're just left to assume.
But, like, I don't know. It seems ridiculous to me. Like, in what 7 says at the end about, like, why are you abiding by Starfleet bullshit when we're trying to get home? It's absolutely right. Like,
she doesn't ask about the Starfleet bullshit.
She asks about doing the exploration.
She asks, why are we stopping at every single planet on the way home? And Janeway's response was exploration, do the whole Starfleet thing, boldly go and all that, quote the whole Jim Kirk thing. When really, I think this episode was probably not the best place to put that scene, because they started the episode with them specifically looking for merchandise that they needed.
Yeah.
So that's why you stop at planets.
And also, I feel like part of it, too, is, you know, what they're really hoping is that eventually they'll find a shortcut.
Does anyone know of any wormholes around here?
But 100% they should have just done a fucking rescue and just left.
Operation Retrieve.
Order 24.
Yeah, and do that for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question for her to ask. I also, was it this? No, it's the next episode where she talks to Harry about assimilation, but But yeah, like you said, maybe not the episode for it.
Yeah. For 7, it's fine. For us, not so much.
It just kind of felt like they were like, oh shit, we haven't put the new lady in this episode.
Well, no, but she was already in it. There's another scene where she's like, B'Elanna got what she deserved for having nasty, mean thoughts.
Well, yeah, like her 2 appearances just kind of felt like...
Stupid.
No, just like we got to make sure she's in here.
It's in her rider.
When I was in the collective, we didn't have nasty, mean thoughts. We all just had the same thought all the time.
Kind of like the scene between Chakotay and Tom. Like, I want to bust her out. Chakotay's like, yeah, maybe.
Oh, they never did anything with that.
No,
Son
and
of
I
a
thought that
bitch.
scene was. I thought that scene was so stupid, just because of the way that Tom was acting in that scene, where it was like a 10-year-old asking Daddy for something.
And Chakotay was like, well,
you know what?
if Mom says no,
Sit in the
we'll
big chair,
see what
buddy.
we could come up with.
Even better, he did that, but then he also did the, you know what, champ? You know what would really help me out? Why don't you go in the kitchen and count the forks for me? You know? It's like...
Except Tom was like, he's doing this to keep me busy. And
He's like...
yeah.
Did you have to count a lot of forks as a kid?
No,
Joe?
I was just trying to think of, like, what's the most ridiculous thing a parent could make their child do to get them out of their hair.
But even
I
though-
hope Justice still listens to this podcast.
But he was just like, yeah, sit down in the big seat, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like when you go somewhere with just one parent, you got to sit in the front seat.
Right.
But imagine, like, going to the second in command and being like, hey, I kind of want to defy orders. You feel good about that? And he's like, well,
See,
I was in the Maquis.
I was gonna say, it feels like that's like something you go to first season Chakotay with, where you're thinking maybe he's still kind of like grumpy, but at this point, he's a company man. Like, it is obvious.
Yeah, Tuvok is doing more nefarious shit than Chakotay.
I also don't, I feel like Tuvok, there should have been a scene where Tuvok went to Janeway and was like, let's just bust her out. Because I feel like that's what he would do. That's
logical.
No, it's not, because in this episode he showed his true colors as being another Vulcan who really loves Nazis/fascists.
That's true. Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
love
like,
your
it's-
fascist society.
It's like he's not even doing it because he wants to save B'Elanna. He's doing it because, like, I don't know what, he wants to be with the chief, whatever she is, for a little bit more. Like, I don't know. But I just feel like he isn't like, we have to prove she's innocent. He's more like, I want to just dig around and solve crimes.
Well,
And also, these fascists are great.
the other issue I have here is that from the outset where she got captured or where she got arrested, the suggestion was that the lobotomy was not punitive. It was necessary because they needed the original thought. They needed to get the pattern of the original thought so that they could extract it from the other guy.
Oh yeah, otherwise it spreads.
Otherwise, it spreads.
And this is, hilariously, this is the most violent thought they've ever encountered on this planet.
Seriously.
Like, a guy stepped on her toe and she wanted to call him an idiot and wank and
Punch him in the face.
I will say, though, she really needs to get some kind of therapy. If your thought after being gently nudged...
It wasn't gentle. It was so... That's how I knew that it was all bullshit. I called this whole episode about 15 minutes in.
She did.
I was like...
either that's bad acting or that guy's up to something.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I said. And I was like... And then Gweel was, like, touching her and being weird.
Yeah.
I was like... He, like, took her thought. I was like, this is definitely bullshit. I don't know if I, like, quite had the black market angle, but I got almost to that point.
You definitely got... First you went, I bet it was Gweel, and I bet the other guy was in on it. So you called those parts very succinctly.
How does the old lady fall in?
Apparently
she's
she
an
just
addict.
loves snuff porn.
Jeez.
He's like, yeah, I really had to help her out. She was begging me for it. It's like, sir. Like...
But either way, getting your foot trod on and your reaction is, I'm going to fantasize about beating the shit out of this guy. It's
Well,
like...
I do that.
I mean, listen, B'Elanna
mean-
just really doesn't like men, and who can blame her?
Listen,
That's fair.
She's a spicy lady. She's got that Klingon spice. And that means she wants to kill things.
It was an interesting angle, though. The whole, like, our society has forgotten how to have dark thoughts, so we steal and sell them.
Well, it made me think of when you were playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
One of the, I don't know if it's like a through line of the whole game or not, but when
It shows up a lot.
Yeah, is that people will, like, extract, like, memories from people and sell them, and, like, the really spicy stuff is when they have a memory of, like, people doing a murder.
I totally
Or
had
being
that
murdered.
idea fucking years ago.
Well, so did Star Trek,
I
apparently.
mean, honestly, that actually goes as far... that idea goes as far back as the Neuromancer trilogy. So
Actually,
I'm just saying,
listen to this guy.
you were beaten to it when you were like 3.
I guess it's not that original of a thought. Then.
There are no original thoughts.
Yeah. Now my idea was that like you'd have like a people that basically the plot of the Hostel movies, except instead of like rich people pay other people to do murders on their behalf, so they could download the memory of committing the murders.
Yeah, there's a black market for snuff, what they call brain dances in the cyberpunk games.
Fun.
Was this the episode where you had a great outfit catch?
That's the next one.
Damn it. Well, I've officially remembered, so you're on your own from here.
Cool.
Can only do it once.
But yeah, I really like the concept, though.
Yeah,
That
the black
seemed
market
cool.
idea was quite fun.
Yeah.
I was a little... Like, I don't want to sound like one of these fucking people.
At least not twice in one episode.
Yeah, but just the fact that, like... I don't know, I'm not keen on the idea that Vulcans can talk telepathically now.
Yeah,
that was
I thought
new.
that was pretty stupid because we've never seen that happen.
Yeah, like-
Hey, this is just being true to the TOS roots of the show.
Just
New
Vulcans
episode,
can do.
new episode,
New
new Vulcan
power,
power. Yeah.
But it just... Because then you feel like, well, wouldn't Vulcan be a very quiet planet then? Because they'd all just be sitting around
they
thinking.
have all the jingly bells to fill the notes.
Yeah, but like I don't think we really see this before or since.
Yeah, like tactility is a key element of...
Well, yeah, but he was leading Kess in telepathic whatevers.
Yeah, but he had. I feel like like Vulcan telepathic powers is one thing. Like that's a step. Like a mind meld is a form of that. I would say.
Yeah.
But the idea that they can do like the Imzadi
Yeah.
shit and just walk around having conversations in their heads is.
I mean, you shat on the Imzadi shit when we saw it.
Well, I
too.
know it was stupid then, but at least it was established that the Beta Zeds have that ability up front. It's we were introduced to the species and we were introduced to them having head conversations.
Okay, but how does Tuvok's third eyelid play into this?
Second eyelid.
That.
How
Or
many?
fourth eyelid.
Just a ton of
Second,
eyelids.
third, and fourth eyelids. I don't know.
But yeah, that was one thing. It was just like, it was a
Which
little
one is
strange.
the ESP eyelid? Oh my god, the third eye.
Yeah,
Lid. There we go.
You're right.
Nailed it. All right.
You
great.
had it all along.
Oh, this is a good cat you guys have.
Yeah, I really don't think that was necessary because it also like it didn't add anything to.
It was just so that you knew why he wanted to fuck her so bad.
I guess.
They were like, wow, you people have suppressed bad things in a different way, and also we can talk without moving our lips.
Well, but it also gave him common ground with the black market guy. Like a
Yeah,
little something
that's
extra
true.
that was helpful for trust,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I
Yeah.
think. I mean, I still don't think it was a good idea, but I understand sort of why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Tuvok is like the pusher was an interesting
Oh
take.
god, when he was dumping all his dark thoughts into that guy, that scene was
Yeah, he was gripping on his face real hard. I was
that was
nervous for him.
uncomfortable and well done, Tim
Yeah,
Russ.
he deserved it.
No, but Hollow Tim, well not Hollow, Dream Tim Russ getting to look all pissed off and such.
Yeah, there was a lot of mind rape in this episode, which I
Yeah,
wasn't.
there kinda
I was like, wow, we're
was.
back to mind rape?
But it
Great.
was consensual in this case because the guy.
Well,
no,
not
we're
with not with
thinking
B'Elanna.
Oh, you mean with B'Elanna?
No, I mean both, but not with B'Elanna.
Well, like Tuvok and the guy.
Yeah, but the guy, Gwil, then kind of mind rapes him at the end. He, like, forces him to give him what he wanted. He's got his friends holding him while he
That's
fucking...
true.
Like,
That's a
I
good
mean,
point.
that's pretty...
Yeah. So I was trying
pretty
to figure
graphic.
I was trying to figure out the allegory here. So, like, it was obviously...
1984.
Obviously, like, the drugs... Like, drug dealing allegory. But also there's, like, kind of... Like... the abortion angle.
That's what I was thinking,
came
too.
up because they're like, oh, if you outlaw it, it'll be forced into back alleys, and I'm like, oh,
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I definitely thought of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't really know how else... Like...
You
It
can't
doesn't
not
feel like
think
a
of
good-
it right now.
But yeah, that's true. But it also doesn't feel like a good fit otherwise.
no, it doesn't. But when they said that thing specifically, that made me think of it. So.
Yeah. Do you want to know the good quote from Biller that I have?
Okay.
The quote is, "I think that the more we criminalized and made things that may be natural for people illicit, the more people will do to get them, like in Prohibition." Because he wanted to write an episode about, does violence on television have an effect on people who watch it?
Oh yeah, I guess I was kind of getting a bit of that vibe early on, and then I kind of forgot, to be honest. It did. There, I suppose there was
Tipper
feelings.
Gore.
It's true that video games are the problem.
If I say, definitely felt like
definitely outlawed video games in this world.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Jack Thompson would love it here.
They must have outlawed most forms of, like...
Entertainment.
Popular entertainment, like...
Yeah, you couldn't even have sports. You couldn't have sports because they're all...
no sports.
Oh, they're swinging a bat. Oh my god, I want to go swing a bat.
You can't play checkers because, you knock off the other guys. That's no.
It's very violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a miserable society, frankly.
Oh, but they're all so happy.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize. I wrote this in my notes and didn't even look to see if I recognized her. But our examiner friend Namira was Gwyneth Walsh, who played Bator.
No.
What?
Of Lursa and Bator.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
wow.
Mm.
I didn't recognize her because her cleavage
tits
was
were
I
out.
couldn't
Yeah.
see her boob windows.
She wasn't all ridgy.
Yeah, she said she was really happy to be in this episode because she didn't have to spend hours in the makeup chair.
All she had to do was wear a dumb wig.
And say constabulary.
It's a weird word.
Though, speaking of tits, nice melons at the old produce.
Oh yeah.
Stand
Everything
A.
there was so tit-shaped.
I want to squeeze these water balloons.
Water plums, whatever the fuck it was. I
I
find them very tart. I was like, I don't know what kind of foreplay talk that is, but I don't like it.
I have nothing against Neelix wanting to get some. I don't like the idea that his whiskers are apparently an erogenous zone.
Also, he's got such a type.
Blondies with tits.
Like young blonde with tits.
But at least she seemed to be into it though, which, you don't always have with Star Trek.
She's like, no, I'd like to tug on your whiskers.
It's like, all right, to each their own.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's only creepy, but she brought it up. Like, he was fine to just stand there and, crush on her a little bit. But then when she's like, hey, so you want to do some sex stuff, eh? So, she made it awkward, I feel like. It wasn't awkward until she...
I don't know if she made it awkward, but she did make the subtext text. So.
Yeah.
I suppose with a society of telepaths, they don't bother with subtext, There's all right.
Yeah, it's like, what's his name in Picard with the divine sisterhood of the bluntness.
Total candor.
Total candor, thanks.
Exquisite candor. Some kind of...
Absolute.
There we go.
Absolute
Absolute candor.
So, that brings up a point that the telepathy in this episode is really inconsistent. Because Neelix's girlfriend was able to figure out, just by standing near him, that he wanted to get his
whiskers
stroked.
But tugged, Jake. Tugged.
Why did they have to interrogate verbally?
That also confused me.
That's
why
true.
are they even asking, unless they're expecting them to lie? But I feel like they wouldn't do this with people on their own planet, because people on their own planet, they just talk telepathically when they need to.
Well, they did say they were basically reading her thoughts and scanning them. Maybe they're only bothering to ask out loud as a courtesy to, non-telepathic dum-dums.
Well, but also...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that if you're asking them questions out loud, you can catch them in a lie.
True.
Even if they try to hide something.
Well, but if you can just pick up stray thoughts from just hanging around, how come nobody noticed that Tweel was a fucking weirdo?
Tweel.
What's his name?
Gweel.
Which isn't that different, really.
And it's also close to Queel. It's this is the way, or I've spoken, or whatever the fuck it is he
I
says.
forgot that was his name.
Yeah.
I love my blurgs.
You do.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
But it seems like physical contact was necessary almost.
Well, maybe that was just to steal it specifically. If you want to keep it, you have to touch.
Well, but they also talk about how they've put up walls against those kinds of thoughts. How, what's Queel, whatever the fuck his name is, Squilliam was saying that, he wasn't able to sense everything because Tuvok was kind of hiding it down too deep, so maybe But
also Tuvok's from a society with telepathic.
Tuvok knows how to lock shit down.
Yeah, whereas B'Elanna is an open book, and I'm sure most humans are too.
Well, but just as we've said earlier in this episode, though, for Vulcans, the mind meld thing, all of the telepathy stuff is very tactile, so maybe to some extent...
Oh yeah, but I mean being able to erect an internal mental wall, I think.
Yeah,
he was erecting something, all right?
Yeah.
Fucking A. God, the boner noises he was making.
So,
I was so uncomfortable in that scene when he was like, oh yeah, show me your dirty atomic bomb thoughts. I was like, ugh. Sorry.
Speaking of Tuvok locking things down, they also had an interesting conversation about the practicality of the brig. Because Namira is like, oh, you guys still lock people in rooms? What is even the point of that?
How barbaric.
It's It's like, what are we supposed to do?
People are always really...
Lobotomize them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people are always really smug about how barbaric Starfleet is, and then they're like, we just mind rape people when they commit crimes. Holy shit!
That's how you knew they were going to have something terrible.
Oh, 100%.
The minute anyone is just like, oh, you're so primitive, it's like, oh god, what's your society's terrible, terrible catch?
Hi, hello.
It did make me think of the... Because I know, like, the one thing Tuvok says is, oh, the brig isn't for rehabilitation. It's for protection for everybody else from this person. And the thing is, like, there are a lot of prisons, I think mostly in, like, Scandinavia. Spoilers for next episode. That in which they actually do use prisons as rehabilitation.
Well, theoretically, we're supposed to be doing that also.
No, we use prisons as easy, cheap labor.
Yeah.
For workforces.
Yes, no, in other places in
Free
the
labor.
civilized world, they actually, offer people job training and therapy and help.
Some people get education in our prisons.
From the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, but I feel like they put it on the prisoners to do it themselves.
Yeah,
Oh,
like they actually,
100%.
some countries have active, what's the word? Not just here's your high school diploma. You can also get job training.
Yeah, it's because American society is so puritanical and we have a concept of bad guys.
Yeah, well, and also again, like Ames said, we got rid of legal slavery, quote unquote, and so prisons, fuck it. America is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's
basically
pretty bad.
But yes, the puritanical foundation does not help. America makes perfect sense if you realize it was founded by corporations and Puritans.
And slave owners.
And people whose religion was too weird for their own countries, so they came here.
Yeah, when 17th century Europe is like, you're too Christian, there's something wrong with you.
Put them on an island somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Tangent over.
No, it's a good tangent.
But yeah, overall, despite some of the weirdness, some of the choice, and all that, I actually thought I quite liked this one.
Oh, it was a good touch. Janeway doesn't know how to count currency.
That was
I
pretty
liked that little touch. Little things like that, because I remember back in Futures End, she didn't know how to type on a keyboard. She was shit at it at first until she got a little bit of the knack of it. And I was like, what the fuck is this a 2 cent? What is this?
So yeah, she definitely had the look of tourist using another country's money for the first time. So yeah, that was...
Where did they get the money? That's what I want to know.
I assume they must have sold something.
They bartered for it.
Kim's clarinet.
Get
rid of it.
One of Chakotay's tubs.
No, she sold the watch he gave her last week.
Oh, no, because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what's important.
I mean, Voyager's got replicators, so they can just make shit.
Could have just been fresh water. Remember how excited Neelix was about fresh water?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Bunch of jerks.
Talaxians?
No,
or these people.
Kazon.
The brain fuckers.
Oh, those jerks.
Yeah, they
Kazon
sucked.
are jerks, too.
Do we ever see the Kazon again?
We are 10 years from their space, so hopefully not.
Sweet. That's good, because they were annoying.
Very.
Oh, here's a note that I made and then quickly needed to rectify. Shouldn't it be impossible to sneak up on a telepath? Oh, no, they figured out Tuvok was there.
Yeah, good episode.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. I like Tuvok in it. Tuvok's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Telly or Telia or Nelly or whatever the fuck her name was.
Yeah, Neelix's little...
What was her name?
Tally.
Tally, I was close. Huh?
He wanted her to tally me banana.
Okay, that's a good one. I'll allow it.
Yep.
I'll allow it so much that I'll move on to the next episode.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk concerning flight.
Do we have to?
Yeah,
Yes.
we kind of do.
We've talked about worst episodes.
I am so shocked you guys didn't like this one.
It's terrible.
It's so goofy.
It's another Janeway goes on an adventure with her historical hero.
Yeah, so we start off and Da Vinci and Janeway are playing airplane. Here comes the airplane. Open up, and they fall in a pond or something because the plane doesn't work. A river. Oh God. And oh no, something's happening. Let's go check out what's happening. What's happening is someone from somewhere is teleporting some of our important shit off of the ship. We lose the computer core. That seems important.
Mm-hmm.
The EMH's mobile emitter, also pretty important. A whole bunch of other supplies and stuff. A lot of rations that no one's going to miss until, the replicators aren't working again. And they realize, okay, we got to go track down this stuff because now our computer's bullshit. Great.
Doesn't even talk anymore. I say hello, computer. It ignores me.
It's like gurgle, gurgle. So they track down where all the stuff is to this planet, this market planet that has its own black market for sure. And they go down there and they say, oh, well, we're sensing one of the Federation supplies coming right for us. And they look over, and because the Da Vinci program had been playing at the time that all this stuff was stolen, they also have the Da Vinci program equipped with the mobile emitter. So Leo is just having the fucking time of his life. He thinks he's been brought to America because his tiny holographic mind, brilliant mind, weird, can't quite wrap around all this stuff. He says, Katerina, look at all the crap that I get to play with now. Because my patron is some rich snob who's really a fucking jerk I should actually be more worried about. But he's letting me build my plane better, and this one will work. He's letting me do all this stuff. I'm making all these paintings. I painted the whole countryside just this afternoon. How long have you been here, Leo? Years? Holy shit.
Yeah,
I think it took him 10 days to get there. So
yeah,
that
but,
much we know. And Katerina says, that's all very nice, Leo, but we got to figure out how to get into this black market. So could you introduce us to your patron? He says, of course I can. He's a slimy slumlord. Let me introduce you. And they do, and Katerina gets to meet up with the computer whom we know, but the computer's, now in this guy Tao's hands.
Tao's house.
Tao's house. Bow wows. And he says, look at how great this computer is. And Janeway's playing like, yep, it sure is great. I kind of want it. So maybe we'll talk about this later. A whole bunch of other stuff happens. There's a whole lot of like little side quests that are not terribly interesting that end up adding up to Janeway playing with Leo, which is fine. Gosh, what happens next? So many things.
Nothing interesting.
Yeah, Leo tells them the best way to get into this place you can't beam in is to just use the front door. The side that's not facing the sun. And it'll be unlocked. Because of course it will. And that was very confusing to me. So they go in, and Janeway has been outed at this point as a captain instead of someone just interested in computers. And Tao is there, and he's like, I'm gonna shoot everybody. And they get out of it, because of course they do. And they start beaming shit, and Leo's like, why are things vanishing? I still think this is like the 16th century or wherever I'm from. Aren't we in France?
I got shot. Am I still alive?
I'm having an existential crisis, but I can't because I'm a hologram. So they site-to-site beam to like the top of a short hill.
An area outside Los Angeles.
And the plane is there for reasons, and Leo says, okay, the best way to get away instead of running down the hill is to take the plane, which I swear will work now. And they get on the plane, and I don't remember why or if that helped, because I know the Voyager was saying, we can't get them until we're 500 kilometers.
No, they flew for a while, and then the Enterprise the Voyager beamed them out of midair.
Yeah, the Voyager grabs the plane, puts the plane in cargo bay, immediately throws it in the replicator because it's useless, puts Leo back where no one will ever talk to him again, because at this point, like, his existential crisis is teeming.
I didn't understand this whole breaking into the place thing that was happening.
I don't think the writers did.
Because I thought they had to get there and, like, overload the thing so that they would see them and then they could beam them up, but then they weren't able to beam them up. They were just able to beam up the computer.
Well, because they were too far from the core when they beamed it up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, I think the stupidest thing among many stupid things in this episode was we must go into the door on the side facing away from the sun.
Shadows and light. Like, what the fuck is
way,
going on?
If someone's trying to break in, they'll have the sun in their eyes.
Has Leonardo da Vinci not aware that the sun moves?
That there's night sometimes?
There's night. In the morning, it's in a different place than it is in the afternoon. Like,
sometimes it's cloudy, Jake.
Like,
Did you know?
What does Leonardo's house look like? Where's his door?
He lives underground.
It's on the roof.
Yes.
This was so bad.
See, actually, I now sort of thinking back, I understand why you thought he would like this. He loved Times Arrow.
Leonardo lives in the sewers. That's what the answer is.
With Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello.
And Splinter.
Yep.
You know, this was awful. Bless John Rhys Davies doing his best with some absolute stupidity.
Yeah, I didn't follow most of the episode. I thought any of the little side quests with like seven. Here's a drawing of a hillside that Leo did.
God.
Make it look like something in the computer. And she's like, okay.
I literally can't. It's already perfect.
Also, like, why did they throw in the "We have come to America"?
I don't.
Like,
America.
I mean, in Leonardo da Vinci's time, America had, like, literally been discovered by Europeans. Like, he died, like, 20 years after Columbus.
I think
sailed.
I think it was a joke to be like, Leonardo doesn't understand some of the stuff, therefore it must be foreign, therefore it must be American, because he wouldn't know.
But America in his time was like
Yeah,
a
it
wilderness.
wasn't a thing. Yeah.
There were no permanent settlements in the United, or not in any maybe in the Caribbean there were some settlements, but
Wow, you were really close. He died in 1519.
there you go. And we all know in 1492 Columbus sailed. And I don't
filled
think it was
his
even
pants
called
with poo.
America for like several years, right? Because it was
That?
Amerigo Vespucci who
Yeah.
did that.
P.S. There were lots of established.
European settlements.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
say. I in fact think there were lots of people living
Yes,
there. And
thank you for correcting me, but yes, I
Thanks,
intend
Chakotay.
I meant European settlements. Actually, no, there were probably alien settlements.
yeah, I was gonna say if we go by Chakotay's story. Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding this story, the first thing that I read on the Memory Alpha was that the story writer
Was on
Drunk?
crack.
No, I didn't write down his name. I forgot his name.
Was it?
That's
And-
fine. His name should be forgotten.
And Minosky, who wrote the teleplay, neither were satisfied with the result because the both of them were arguing basically the whole time. Because I guess the original pitch didn't have Da Vinci, and then they added Da Vinci, and neither of them quite agreed with what way that the story was going. Because I guess originally it was just a stuff is getting stolen off the Enterprise, you have to go get it. Let's deal with black markets because we loved them last episode. And then they added Da Vinci because they really wanted to play with that character more because it's fun to play with John Rhys Davies. And it didn't come together. Both of them are right that it didn't come out right.
No, it did not.
It didn't make any
Terrible
sense.
episode.
Came out bad.
It's just it's a mess. Tau, by the way, was the one other person on Regula 1 that had any dialogue in Wrath of Khan.
Oh, good for him.
Hey, Chris, did you notice any cool costuming shit in this episode?
Oh, good, you remembered.
I did.
So, yeah, this is possibly the saddest thing I've ever noticed.
It's not, but it's cute that you think it is. So go
It's
ahead.
up there. So,
You guys can be the judge.
Janeway and Tuvok are in disguise, quote unquote. And I was like, seen that outfit before. And sure enough, that is the same costume Tim Russ wore as Mirror
Oh,
Tuvok
yes, I
in
did read that.
DS9.
I read about
Well, they
that.
already had it, so why
Or
not?
vice versa. I'm not sure which episode came first. I didn't look into that part.
That's fun.
But yeah, I was just like, pretty sure that's his mirror
I mean, his
costume.
sense of style transcends time
Universes.
and space.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so...
they knew it fit him, so.
Yeah.
One thing I did kind of like is that when they were trying to track down the equipment, they talked to that guy who had bought some stuff and was wearing a
Oh,
Starfleet
yeah, I did
uniform.
like that he was in their shirt.
They did look good in red. I like
did.
that.
I
Yeah,
thought that
I
was-
like that.
I thought that was a fun
Nice
little
work,
touch.
Yeah, I like that too. Everything else.
I think it would be great, like if they had had a joke where the guy first tried to deny that he was he
yeah.
had bought it. I didn't buy any stolen merchandise. Ahem.
Yeah. That would have been a good joke. Okay,
So
Chris, did you like Tuvok trying to make small talk with Da Vinci?
that was kind of cute. Yeah, you know what drove me crazy? The surgery bed was stolen, but they never talked about it.
How do you know the surgery bed was stolen?
They showed it happen.
Oh, it wasn't in the list of stuff that got stolen? Damn
And
it.
it didn't, and the doctor didn't seem terribly worried about the fact that his surgery bed was gone.
Well, he wouldn't be because he's too busy shitting a brick that he won't be able to go anywhere.
Which is fair. But like, seriously, it's your only surgery bed.
I did kind of like the scene where he was trying to get the scoop on what was going on.
Yeah, that was okay too.
But imagine trying to ask Seven.
Yeah,
Silly
right.
doctor.
Like, so want to hang out and chat?
Dude, it's
No.
like, Doc, do you know who would have been the only person who would have been more poorly equipped for this task would have been season 1 you. Like, let's just cool it.
Alana's still being mean to 7 and 9.
That's cool.
She
7 and 9
gotta-
sucks.
She gotta cool off with that. She can't help that
7
she's a Borg.
Yeah, Seven did try to, sabotage the ship several times.
Okay, but she was still kind of Borgy. It's,
Yeah.
She is kind of a bitch.
They'll grow to love each other.
So
Tons of slash about it.
here's what fucking drove me the most up a wall.
Tell me.
Oh boy.
Why was Tao patronizing Da Vinci? I was waiting for the episode to explain it.
Maybe he was hoping he could sell some of his shit.
Yeah, I feel like the character Tao was so uninteresting to me. I know last week when we talked about Year of Hell, we talked about Anorax.
Mm-hmm.
They made a very compelling villain.
Yeah.
Who had, because there were reasons why he did things. With Tao, even if the reason is power, we should see that, but he seems to just be doing shit because the script tells him to.
Yeah. Even if the reason was just given as, oh yeah, I humor this thing because I can show him off as a piece of merchandise. Look at this really fancy fake guy. But they never.
With the plane he built, isn't that hilarious?
Or even just like an entertaining.
Yeah.
Like if he was portrayed as when Da Vinci was describing him as like a prince and all this.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to be like hedonism bought.
Yeah. That would have been good.
But no, I could imagine yes, bring me my amusing hologram man to entertain me with his weird little words.
But since the only information we get on their relationship is from Da Vinci, they don't even have a scene together except for when Da Vinci clocks him on the back of the head. As far as we know as the audience, he legitimately thinks that this guy will be useful to him.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure isn't what it is, but we don't know what it is. And there's no logical reason what little we know of Tao, as you said.
It's like he's doing a Great Expectations on him and just saying, I'm going to just fund your life for my own reasons that aren't clear.
At all, whatsoever. Oh my god. Just no. Everything about, such a bad episode.
Mm. Yeah, and I was done with the Leonardo shtick.
After
its
the
first
first time.
appearance?
Yeah.
Well, luckily so's the show, apparently.
Good.
And you know what's almost sad is we're not going to see Leonardo again. Now that he's had experiences that he could recount or develop like a Moriarty character. Granted, that's just kind of copying TNG, but
yeah.
I think the interesting thing about hologram characters is when they're able to develop, and he's not going to get that now.
Right, because he's right on the cusp. He just kind of realized,
something's up.
I'm not...
If anyone was going to figure out that they're a hologram, it's Da Vinci.
Yeah.
But I think the implication is that he's not quite sophisticated enough to grasp it. Like, not sophisticated technologically. He doesn't have the code that Moriarty had.
Even though in theory, he's being run off the most advanced computer in Starfleet right now.
It surprises me that the Doctor was able to function at all without
the computer. Yeah,
considering
you think
he's a computer program.
Yeah, I guess you'd want your EMH to be able to run off the backups, but you think he'd be at reduced capacity.
Yeah, he would be season 1 Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He should they should have had that. He should have been reverted to just
please insert girder.
Yeah. Basically. If he went low poly and could only just say he looks like a PS1 character, that would have been amazing.
That actually would have been great. It would have been a much better use of CG than the hang glider.
I'm in low power mode.
They built that plane device specifically for this show.
Wow.
It didn't look good.
No.
When I read that in the memory alpha, I was like, "Oh man, that's gonna be cool." And I looked at it, it's like, "Oh, it looks really dumb."
It looks like they took a regular hang glider and then replaced the wing.
That's what I thought they'd done. The fact that it's bespoke makes me even sadder.
Okay, I need to make sure that we remember because it's the most ridiculous fucking thing. And it comes up in this episode. We have met Da Vinci before in TOS because Flint was Da Vinci.
That's what that was a reference. I meant to look that up, see if that was a reference to something
about Jim
that
Kirk
actually
meeting him.
happened.
I also wanted to know what that was about. So who is Flint again?
He was that immortal.
Yeah, he was in Requiem for Methuselah. He was that guy who's literally lived for thousands of years.
Yeah. Kirk fell in love with his girlfriend and she died and Kirk had a sad, so Spock, without consulting him first, erased his memory of the events.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was fucked up. But it was also a terrible idea because now it's like, Da Vinci was this guy and he's still alive and he lives in space and he's got a robot girlfriend.
I had forgotten that and we'll hopefully forget it again.
Yeah.
I'll remind you, don't worry.
Damn it.
Well, so that probably means that if that's true, then he's probably still actually alive, Da Vinci.
He maybe wrote the program, no less.
Nah.
There
I don't
you
know.
go.
I saw someone conjecture online that because Kirk had promised Flint not to let anybody know about all of his identities, that maybe the fact that Janeway seems to know something about it means that Kirk tattled, possibly because in the meantime Flint died.
Or maybe like Kirk was just like, oh yeah, I met Da Vinci and didn't give details. Like you would
That would be a Kirk move.
You could say that without outing Flint.
He's probably just trying to impress the ladies anyway.
Yeah.
Like I said, Kirk is always flirting with something.
Mm-hmm. Mostly the ship.
Yeah, I was trying to remember when they said I forgot about that Flint thing. So I was like, is this like, was there a Savage Curtain? No.
That was my first thought. I was like, was he in? No. That was Lincoln and Sarek. Not Sarek. What's his name?
Surak.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other people.
Cool.
There's a really silly thing that Memory Alpha has been doing with these 2 episodes, and I don't know how long it's going to go on, but probably a while, in which when they're trying to tell this episode where it lands in the chronology, it says, this is an episode that falls between Year of Hell 1 and Year of Hell 2. And I look at this like, yeah, stop it, because Year of Hell 2's date doesn't affect these because it didn't happen.
Well, but
Stop
maybe,
putting the note in both fucking episodes.
Well, maybe what they mean is that because they don't give a star date, but they do in Year of Hell, that it happened in the time that got erased.
Did they not give a star date for this one?
Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
No, I think it's because when things happen out of order of things, people post it on Memory Alpha.
Yeah, but that's probably so probably somebody extrapolated. If they don't say that, they probably do say that star date in Year of Hell 2, but if they don't, somebody probably extrapolated it and was like, oh, okay, this overlaps that time period. Yeah. Buttholes.
Da Vinci is wearing the stupidest hat I've ever seen.
That's a Da Vinci hat. That's how.
Yeah, I mean that's just
how he
what
rolls.
people wore back then, unfortunately.
I had like his nightgowns either.
Partway through, I was just like, "This is the beard and the hair and the red." I was like, "Man, how is it we've never gotten John Rhys Davies as Santa Claus?"
He would be a great Santa Claus.
He does that probably on his own time.
Like
I hope
Mick Foley.
so. Like who?
Mick Foley.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did a whole documentary about like mall Santas because he's a mall Santa.
Oh, I had no idea. That's fucking sick. I want to go sit on Mick Foley's lap. Not in a weird way, like in a Santa way.
Santa.
Oh, there was one other little detail I liked, and that was that Da Vinci starts sketching Tuvok's ears.
Oh yeah, that was a nice,
kind of cute,
a nice thing, and then he turns it into a dragon's ass, or whatever. Not cromulent V's. What's the fucking term?
What?
No idea what you're talking about.
Cromulent V's.
I'm trying to quote Homestar
Soylent
Runner, failing.
Green?
I've never watched, so have fun.
Homestar was quality internet.
20 years ago.
Yep.
You guys have a very different definition of quality than I do.
No, it's just that the internet, there wasn't as many options back then, so the things that counted as good were...
Consummate V's. There it is.
Neat.
I still don't know what that is.
I'm not gonna get it.
That's how...
No, I know. It's just...
Is that from when he drew the dragon?
Yes.
Okay, now I know. I remember. Somebody sent a strong bad email about drawing a dragon, and then he drew the dragon. And
Oh yeah, I've seen the dragon.
And then he burns a village.
But yeah, the only connection again, he turned $2 a year into a dragon's butt.
Why wouldn't Leonardo notice that the stars are not from Earth?
Good question. Because the sun is always in the same place on this planet.
and apparently always in your eyes.
He's never seen the night sky since he's been here.
But I got nothing. Can't even claim it's a different hemisphere. It's the same hemisphere.
It's also very unclear to me how fucking long Da Vinci was on this planet for.
Supposedly
10 days.
10 days at the most, allegedly.
It seems like he had to have been
Ages?
there for ages.
Yes. Yeah, no, it makes no fucking sense.
He built a plane.
He's invented a bunch of shit since he's been there.
He seems pretty well settled in. Just such a... Yeah, no, this was
bad Star Trek.
Bad Star Trek.
This, like, is... This is up there as just one of the worst we've seen
Oh, not the worst.
Oh,
we've
I don't
seen.
know about
No.
that.
No, well, I don't mean like, but I mean like this is definitely one that like is I will remember as a standout. That was a bad episode of Star Trek, like in general, not
see,
just
the thing
Voyager.
about this was,
Could be like top 10 worst.
I don't know, because it's not like
Of
offensive.
all of Star
It's
Trek,
not
no.
offensively bad. It's just stupid.
It just seems pointless. Like when they get on the plane at the end, I really have no idea why. I think, did they say they were at the edge of a cliff? But then when they pan back, they're just going down a hill.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a big drop.
If it was a cliff and they're like, oh no, Tau is gonna get us.
See, the problem is what
they're watching them from the ship, and they're like, oh, they're at the edge of a precipice. What will they do?
Yeah, it's like they needed us to be way more invested in Da Vinci than we were, to be happy for him that his stupid plane worked. And we just don't care. It's so bad.
It just seemed like very forced that we need to use the plane. How will we figure out a way to use the plane? If we can't figure out a way to use the plane, just do it and don't explain it. Why, Star Trek? Why did you want to hurt us so?
Yeah, okay, maybe not all time bad, but you know what it is? It's TAS bad. This feels like a TAS episode.
Some TAS vibes to it. I'll give you that.
It's like there are some like nuggets in here, like Janeway went total Who Watches the Watchers on Da Vinci's ass when she's like, okay, if you were, what animal does she use?
A sparrow.
Just a bird.
If you were some kind of burb, would you understand humans? And he's like, no, because birds aren't as advanced. And she's like, exactly, you're a bird.
You dumb fuck.
You stupid, stupid bird. And I'm not saying a crow, I mean a dumb bird.
I mean, can the hollow mobile emitter only hollow emit people? Like,
I don't know.
Could you have it hollow emit a car? Or a helicopter? Or a ship?
Or
if he takes that hat off, does it disappear?
If you cut him, does he not bleed?
I think it would.
You think Janeway ever steals the hollow emitter just so she can have a dog again for a while?
She should. Good dog.
I was trying to think of what would happen if the Doctor... Have we seen the Doctor take off his own hollow emitter when he's not in sickbay?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we would.
Would you be able to? Like, would the
I imagine it would like stick to his hand if he did, you know, like.
But I assume only one side of it has the capability to do holograms.
Yeah, probably like flip around or something.
Or like, if he pulled it off, would it just fall on the floor?
He would disappear and it would fall on the floor.
Or would him pulling it off, because he would momentarily disappear right as he pulled it off, or would it just pull him with it? How would that work?
Maybe.
Because you got to figure,
can he pause himself?
He's weightless, basically. The mobile emitter is supported by him, but it's also making him. So if he pulled it, would he just float across the floor in the direction that he's pulling it?
I think you're putting way too much thought
I
into this.
don't know.
As is often the case with the Doctor, we are putting more thought into him than the writers ever did. Well,
they didn't mean for you to
his realities. He actually gets character development, so they give him more thought than they do some other people.
But no name yet.
No, never will.
Nope, that's a shame.
Honestly, though, I feel like it would be a letdown, whatever it was.
Unless it was Graham, like you said.
Yeah, or unless there was like a really meaningful episode where someone else names him, like what Freya did. She was great.
She was.
Yep.
No, wait. He came with that name, but she kind of like.
Yeah, she made it special.
Yes.
But now he can't.
And that's why he can't use it. But that's almost why that would have only been the only logical choice to be a name, because now all other ones you're just like, but there's no meaning here.
Yeah.
Could be like when what's-her-name named Kevin Costner Ulysses at the end of Waterworld.
Well, in that one cut.
Which is, I found it underwhelming.
My last note is at the very, very end when Da Vinci decides, I'm going to go leave France or leave Italy and go do whatever the fuck it is he's doing and be free. I never knew Da Vinci really wanted freedom from Italy. Okay. And then they pan slowly in on a drawing of a caged bird. And I'm like, oh no, Da Vinci felt like he was trapped in the holodeck What were they going for?
I-
He's free now like a bird, except this one's in a cage. Maybe the door should be open in the drawing. I don't fucking know.
Was it based on a real Da Vinci anything, or was it just some bullshit they made up for this show?
If it was, I didn't read anything on it.
I just... I love the idea that your video game can get broken by a main character saying, fuck it, I'm not staying here. Like, would she
guarantee he's back the next time she goes in.
Well, but she'd have to, like, reset the program, I imagine. Because he's like, I'm a moving to France.
Well, that's the thing. That's really fucking easy to do. You just say, reset program.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, I feel like, you'd probably have to completely reset it, including, like...
He wouldn't remember anything.
Yeah.
You have to restart your game.
Or you'd have to go back a few save files. But yeah, like, imagine it's like...
Well, maybe the end of the game is he moves to France, and now she unlocks New Game Plus.
Da Vinci has twice the hit points.
He's wearing a different hat.
Yes, but she gets to keep all of the equipment that she got along the way.
Exactly.
That Felix, what didn't he think of?
I miss Vic.
Yeah, and then you wipe his memory like we tried to do last episode with B'Elanna. Speaking of B'Elanna, let's get out of this.
God, yeah.
That's fine. It's
B'Elanna,
fine. I don't think it was as
baloney.
bad as Chris seems to think, but it wasn't like a good episode.
Yeah, like,
It was
I'll
crappy.
It wasn't blood fever.
I'll scale it back to TAS bad. With the exception being Bam, which is one of the worst episodes of any Star Trek ever. The rest of TAS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, like, my calibration on what Ames will hate is really just off, because I thought for sure you would have really disliked this one.
I mean, I didn't like it. I was just so mad on it, and I think because I didn't understand a lot of the stuff, I just kind of glossed over. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, speaking of B'Elanna, we're looking at new ships today. We just finished all the different Federation ships up till time of recording. I'm sure there's already new ones on the internet somewhere. But today we're talking alien ships, and we're going to start with the Klingons.
Woo!
So today is Klingon Ship Day. We're going to start at the tippy top of TOS.
Wait, but this is a Romulan ship.
And the first Klingon TOS ship we see is the D7, which is a very strange ship because it's like it's almost like a Romulan ship base, and then a long fucking hallway to nowhere until you finally get to the bridge, which is just a big giraffe head at the end of this neck.
Like, what is the point of that? That's just like, hey, it's like in a video game. Here's the weak point.
Well,
There's a circle with flashing lights around it.
I do wonder, like, in TOS we have this, we also have the Enterprise that has a long neck.
This neck is so long.
Oh yeah, this is much longer.
You could cut it with scissors.
But it does make me wonder, like, is it like a safety thing? Like, is there, risks that if the reactor goes kaplooey,
it can saucer separate?
or you can use the front part to
Maybe
life
it's
raft.
a necessary result of that crazy launcher they have in the mouth there.
In the mouth.
Well, like, we can't see it from this angle, but it's got the, like, huge launcher, like, right... Yeah, the little...
Oh, the little mouth. Yeah, the little mouth.
Maybe the idea originally was that it's the end of, like, maybe it starts from here and it's like a railgun
But isn't that
thing.
like a hallway? How else do you get to your bridge?
Well, I mean, there's a hallway and underneath it is, like, your gun.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I don't know what lines up. I mean, you gotta give it this. It's distinctive as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. It doesn't look terribly practical. But
Yeah,
No,
I think
it's
that's what it
cool.
is with me. It's like that neck is just you can just like chop it off and destroy this ship. It looks flimsy. Maybe that's because it's it's TOS and everything there was made out of balsa wood and chewing gum.
Yeah. Good design though. Classic. Allegedly the story of the name, because they never actually say D7 cruiser at all in TOS or I think anywhere, frankly. But it is like Nimoy and Shatner were taking the piss out of Roddenberry or something. He was saying something like, no, Gene, it's the D7. Because I'm ruining it. I'll Google it and link it on the Facebook, the actual story. But basically, Shatner and Nimoy came up with the name as part of a prolonged teasing of Gene Roddenberry, is my understanding.
That's the only way to do anything.
Yeah. Like, before that, it was probably just called The Klingon Ship by everyone on the crew.
Yeah, because back then there weren't class names for every fucking thing. No one cared about that like they do now.
Well, I mean, keeping in mind that so much of the original series did have, like, World War II people involved.
Okay, and?
Just because there was so many people with clear military backgrounds. Like, at the very least, they did know they did have, like, the Enterprise class name and things like that. That was something they did have in the back of their minds. because a lot of them had served in the military, where a lot of that stuff is documented and codified and stuff.
So this is the first time it's named a D7. When's that?
Oh, canonically, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, probably DS9. Probably when in
maybe
Trials and Tribulations.
Oh, probably. And yeah, this one sticks around for a good long while. Gorkon's ship. But do we ever see it in TNG, or do we just see its weird?
I don't think
later version.
Yeah, I don't think we see this.
It's in the motion picture.
Probably for good reason. Actually, I
want to
think
say we might see one again.
Is the D7 in the motion picture, or is the next one of the next slides?
I thought it was this one, unless
there's another one that looks similar to
There's a bunch of them that look very similar.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we might see another D7 in the future.
Okay.
Well, first let's talk about the bird of prey. Probably what anyone thinks about when they think about a Klingon ship, because it just looks like a bird.
Yep.
Whenever I see this, I just go da 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 da.
Although again, first time that was used was with the motion picture, which whatever it was not a bird of prey.
That's true, but you can't look at this ship and not think that.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. And of course, I'd probably the most seen Klingon ship, because every time one of them exploded, it was that same footage from Star Trek 3.
Same ship every time.
Different day.
Great design though. It looks fast, certainly.
Doesn't have a big, long, breakable neck.
It still has a neck though.
It's a little neck.
They were doing the
a mock turtleneck.
The flappy wings way before Voyager was.
I do like that they have wings that have 3 different modes, because I read in this article when they're down, it's the best
that's attack vector
weapons
or
time to use weapons. When they're just kind of out, that's the best flying position to be in, and when they're up, you can land.
That's for intimidating.
I feel like
it's for mating.
I feel like I feel like definitely part of it though was someone at the studio was like, we need to have a toy like the X-wing. Give the Klingon ship flappy wings.
I like the flappy wings.
Oh yeah, so do I. But I'm sure there's at least some Star Wars motive there.
Yeah, and I like that it's green and it's got feathers. I never quite understand the little area at the shoulders of the wings that have kind of almost like the laser background effect you get when you're taking class pictures in elementary school.
Yeah. Also, no nacelles, which don't have to have nacelles, but I think this is one of the only Klingon ships that doesn't, at least as far as big ones go.
No, I think of nacelles as being a Federation thing.
Well, no, but the last one had them, and the Vorcha cruiser, or whatever the hell it's called, has them.
See, I don't think of those really as nacelles.
No,
they're engines. They're jetpacks.
Okay.
Nacelles need to be fucking long cylinder.
Well, either way, they're part of the propulsion system.
Yeah.
And this
That's
one
true.
doesn't.
This you can't tell where the propulsion is.
Well, I think I think we see it in Star Trek 3.
Well, that's definitely their impulse drive, but I don't know if it's also their warp drive.
Oh, maybe the shoulder pads.
Oh, maybe those are the nacelles or the warp field generators.
Yeah, and maybe that's what the laser background is. Maybe it's the Defiant has integrated nacelles.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, it works. The HMS Bounty there.
Yeah, you can never tell how big it is because it seems to change
constantly
from episode to movie to episode.
The only reasonable assumption you can make, if you want it to make sense, is just assume that there are countless versions of this class that are in many different sizes.
They just make different...
there's the scout-sized one that they had in Star Trek 3, and then there's ones we see that are the size of a Galaxy-class saucer.
Wasn't the one in Generations incredibly huge?
It never got close enough to the Enterprise to be able to tell.
I mean, it's definitely bigger than...
Oh yeah, bigger than that,
you're
though,
seeing,
for sure.
The one on Vulcan.
I feel like that sort of makes sense for Klingons, though. They just want to do battle. They don't want to have to worry about designing new ships. Just make this, but bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, like they did with the Kelvin Enterprise. Just make it again and scale it up. That's all you gotta do, right?
I feel like, really, in reality, it's just a function of, look, we're not going to spend all this time and money on alien ships we're going to see for 2 seconds. But the in-universe thing becomes only humans are so friggin' weird that they're just constantly we have 13 different classes ship at once. Why? Looks cool. We're bored. We're out of our minds.
Well, it fits because we do that with cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In cars.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Right, so the Katinga class is what I think you're talking about, Chris.
Yeah.
I didn't realize these were technically 2 different things.
Yeah, the Katinga and the D7, they're very similar, but they are distinct.
I think this one's larger.
It's larger. The head is definitely very different. I think because this is for the movies.
Yeah,
that
I think these
is-
are the ones
yeah.
that we see in the motion.
Yeah, no, that is
Yeah.
a shot directly from it.
And because they're for the movies, they have to make them like more.
Yeah, I think it was a more detailed model. Is the thing. It was just a better model. It was probably intended to be the same ship. But
Yeah, it's wearing a little hat.
But then nerds happened.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I had no idea they were
it is
technically
wearing a little hat. Look at that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a little sombrero.
Oh, does the original not have the sombrero?
No, it's a different sombrero.
Okay, yeah, it's smaller.
It's a little sombrero. This one's got the full wide brim.
Huh. Okay, well, I never claimed to know alien ships that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was on the air, but you asked me some of that ones before. I was like, I don't know, I mostly know Starfleet.
Cool.
Still a good design, though.
Yeah.
See, I don't like the design.
I don't have
I
much
think it's
new
very
to say
doofy.
about this one.
Yeah, no, because it's basically the same thing. That's Gorkin's ship. That's the TMP one.
Yeah.
Chris, I don't know anything about alien ship, but I can.
But I know screen caps, damn it.
This one appeared at timestamp 325.
All right, let's move ahead to Vorsha class.
Yeah, this is what Kempek and
Yeah.
Gowron float around in.
Yeah, the new special thing. It looks kind of like it's got a little scorpion tail for a face.
A little bit, yeah. But, it's still within the Klingon bailiwick that we've seen up till now. There's still kind of a neck.
Yeah, this one's
I
a thick
think
neck, though.
It's got the sombrero just
Oh, there
on the
it
middle of its
is.
neck instead of on its head.
Yeah,
It's a
I
weird
feel like
place to
this
wear
one
a
was
hat.
one of
It
was
put,
like
it,
the
they put it on its back.
Yeah,
on the
it's got the string.
Yeah.
the updated version of the previous class.
Basically, yeah. It's
but painted
meaty.
Klingon green. You know?
And it's meaty.
yeah, it looks more solid.
It looks
like a
bigger. It looks a
warrior.
lot big. It looks like comparable in size to the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said with the Enterprise C, it looks like this one has been working out.
Yeah. I feel like we don't see it a ton, at least not in, close to tail, but...
Yeah. Those are definitely nacelles on this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
even
very
the
good.
glowy red tips.
Yeah, still, I like the detailing on the wings, because the wings are more wingy than in the Katinga and the D7, but not as wingy as the Bird of Prey, obviously.
Tommy likey. Tommy want wingy. Chris looked over at me as soon as you said wingy, and I was like, I have to.
You do. Oh, now I want wingy.
Sorry.
Woo!
Jesus.
Oh,
I'm just surprised you got the reference.
Oh no, I like Tommy Boy. That's a good movie.
Fair
I was big into David Spade as a kid.
Fair enough.
You were the only person that
was
watched
gonna
Tommy
say-
Boy for David Spade.
Even
Being
David
fair.
Spade
That's like-
doesn't watch
It's like,
Tommy
oh man,
Boy
I
for
love the
David
fucking
Spade.
Beatles. Ringo just fucking rocks.
Being fair,
Whoa, Ringo is great.
you can also watch it for,
Brian Dennehy. Rob Lowe.
yeah.
What's her name that's
No,
in it?
Rob Lowe. That's...
No, but there's also that lady. Who's the lady?
Oh, who played his girlfriend? I can't think of her real name.
Is it fucking Bo Derek?
No. Good movie, though.
Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, so that's Vorsha class.
Yep.
And then the biggest motherfucker that they want to throw at us is the Nekvar.
I forgot all about this one. What's this in
Don't-
DS9?
Yeah, don't we see this?
This is Martok's ship, I believe.
No, he flies around the Rotaran.
Well, if
That
at
little
some point
bird-
he's on this thing.
I feel like we might see
Oh, no.
this in the Mirror Universe.
Jake. I'm so sorry. It has 4 nacelles.
I see that. I feel like this is Worf's ship from the Mirror Universe.
I don't think so. What does it say here?
Klingon Defense
It says Klingon
Force.
Defense Force.
IKS Negvar.
I don't know where we see
I
this.
meant to take notes, but I've been very rushed this week trying to get shit done.
Yeah, I don't remember when we actually see this.
I know it was very it's a very specific ship. Basically, my rule, as we're going to be looking at alien ship for the next couple of weeks, is if it's important enough to be on Star Trek timelines, it's important enough to talk about, because there's way too many ships.
Okay, so this, I just Googled it. This was Changeling Martok's ship.
Oh.
Yes! That's
And-
why I'm thinking Martok.
And it is also Worf's ship in the Mirror Universe.
Okay.
Okay.
And apparently is a slightly modified model of the future Klingon ship from All Good Things. I don't know how it's modified because I don't have time to read that now.
Okay, so the deal with this ship, it's got like a full-on Dilophosaurus frill on its head.
Yep. Big fuck off gun in its mouth.
But, yep,
And
big,
I think
big
that's
gun.
I think that's the the hand glider that Link uses in Breath of the
A
Wild.
little bit.
That Da Vinci just made in the last episode. we
Also
discussed.
Yeah, this one just kind of looks overbuilt and silly.
it feels like the Klingons were like, can we make it look scary? And you just kind of made it interesting.
It's like they were trying to do like a pincher mouth.
But
on
it
its face.
is, you know, we've seen a clear evolution and consistency in Klingon design.
Get beefy.
Get beefy, bit of a neck, bit of a, flare at the front.
Yeah, wingies.
Are those guns hanging down, like the pontoons?
Probably. It's Klingon. Yeah, actually, yes, because
they're
firing here.
Yeah.
The nacelles on this one, for the top anyway, very TOS Enterprise.
Oh, yeah, look at the wing, the
Well, I mean,
nacelles.
if it was, maybe it was built as like a kit bash if it was made for
Yeah, maybe.
some random episode. For all we know, they took a TOS.
Does look like it'll
model.
fuck you up, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
I forgot all about this ship,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. All right, we're going to jump back to Enterprise.
Mm.
And they have a whole different bird of prey that's
Little babies.
That's like a precursor. Yeah, it's just out of the nest.
It's exactly what it looks like.
And it looks like it's got the biggest fucking underbite for it on its bird face.
Well, and like babies, its head is too big for the rest of its body.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like the Muppet Babies
It's got
version
little
of the bird of
stubby
prey.
wings.
Like, they made an adorable Klingon ship, and that shouldn't be a sentence. Nothing about Klingons should be adorable.
Well, here's the thing: it's only adorable because we know what the daddy version looks like.
I feel like that's true, but even then, like, the proportions are so weird and spudgy.
Mm.
Like, either way, it looks like fucking super deformed kawaii anime stuff.
Mm.
It's like, this feels like... Jesus. Yeah, no. Oh, no! It's worse! Oh, sorry for those at home. I just switched to the second slide. I'm looking at it from more angles, and oh god, it's a fucking Muppet baby. Oh my god. Oh, dearie dear.
Yeah, I can only look at the mouth like it's a Godzilla, like most of a Godzilla Muppet,
Mm-hmm.
because it's got like the mouth. It's saying, "Feed me, Seymour."
Like if the bird of prey is Kermit, this is Robin. Oh no. Very distinctive nacelles. Oh, Jake, I think that goes to prove your point. Because it has more distinctive nacelles right near the shoulder humps.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think they just get integrated into the grill later.
Yeah,
There we go,
Okay,
Jake.
there you go. Jake
Cool.
figured it out.
There we go.
Pigeon.
You could have designed Enterprise.
Nice.
The Raptor.
Yeah, we also have the Klingon Raptor from Enterprise.
Okay.
It looks like a taser.
Yeah, it's a
Or
very...
a stun gun, whichever one I always get
It's a much
confused.
sleeker bird. Whatever
Yeah.
kind of bird this one is. I'm going to say like some kind of goose.
Kind of, the front end just makes me think of a runabout, though. Similar shape.
I'm not getting a sense of scale here because it looks very small.
Is it like a scout ship? Because if this is from...
I don't know Enterprise, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, more in the, like, Vorcha line of design than the Bird of Prey line of design, though. Bit of a neck.
Yeah, neck.
Flary out face.
I like that it's got like tendons that come back from
Yeah.
the neck to support it. It looks actually supported, like some of the other
Yeah.
ones don't.
Yeah. It's got that same... Their Bird of Prey also has this weird back-end thing. So that was an element of Klingon ships at the time, apparently.
Look at the interesting cables that go to the end of the wing and
Yeah.
toward the body.
Yeah, I wonder
That's
if
kind of
that's
funny.
inspired by some sort of real-world plane or something.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right.
I'm just saying maybe it is.
It is very plainy.
I
Yeah.
wonder how Klingon ships, like, they don't have a deflector dish. I wonder how they accomplish that feat.
Maybe that's what's in this thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the thing is, when you think about it, really, only Starfleet ships have a very distinctive, obvious deflector dish.
But that's just how they solved that problem. I wonder if
Yeah.
other species do a different thing.
Yeah, I think for any Federation ships, like they actually had to think about the science, and for other ships, they just had to think about the pretty.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of even wonder if the deflector dish was originally a deflector dish. You know, like, when Matt Jeffries put it there, was he thinking, and this is their communication?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Thing.
That's why it's got a little satellite dish on it.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's
It was only later that it would become, oh, that's the deflector.
Yeah, it
Well,
was-
because somebody was like, if they're flying through space and a bit of dust were to strike them.
Well, I'm hoping that was their science consult would say
Did they
something
have
like
one on
that.
No.
TOS, though?
Yes.
He was drunk.
Wow.
Everyone was
I was
drunk
gonna say
in the
they were
60s
all
constantly.
All right, what up?
What else else have we got?
Oh, the D5.
Yeah, there's a D5, so presumably precursor to the D7? Question
Presumably.
marks?
Oh.
D5, you
Not-
sunk my
Not
battleship.
particularly attractive.
It looks like a cargo ship, not a warship.
Hideous.
Mostly because of these round
Yeah,
things.
there's two different designs.
Yeah, I'd say not all of them have
Some of them can carry little, like, they look like barrels that they're going to drop on.
Blue
Mario or
barrels?
something.
It's
Or
their.
a wharf.
It's
Yeah.
where they keep their blood wine.
There you go.
Yeah.
And some of them don't need that because they're, I think some are more cargo-y and some are more fighty-y.
Mm. They got they got the gun, they got, they, in classic sort of prequel thing, it's like, look, we've backwards.
Yeah, like how we were talking about with all the other ships you see in Enterprise.
Yeah.
It's like, what could have come between this and this? Well, you split the difference in half nacelles.
Mhm.
It's interesting from the front, though, it actually, because of the way the wings slant, it's more reminiscent of a bird of prey than the D7.
That's true.
Mhm.
D7s are more flat than that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very, very fighter plane.
Oh, we're going this far.
Alright, so we're also going to talk about Discovery. So Discovery has like 80 fucking different types of Klingon ships because every house has their own ship and they're all different. We're not going to cover them all because none of
That
them
would
are...
take a while.
Yeah, it would take a while. It would be insane. The only one we actually get really good looks at, and is kind of more the hero of the Klingon ships, is the Sarcophagus ship, which is a fun ship because they cover it and they're dead.
And also, again, there's that D7-esque silhouette. Long neck, big head,
Yep.
swing back. There's the nacelles. There's even the little mouth torpedo launcher.
Yeah, I feel like all of the Ferengi. Wow, where'd that come from? Klingon. All of the Klingon ships in Discovery are all very over-designed.
Oh, everything about the
I mean, this
Klingons
looks
in
like-
Discovery is over-designed.
I mean,
It's like their faces, yeah.
I could see this. I mean, it actually makes perfect sense for what it is because it's
A corpse hauling
it's,
ship?
it's a cult leader's
Yeah.
cathedral.
Yeah.
Ooh, a cathedral. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like in that regard, it does make sense. The rest of the ships, that's a little more questionable.
Yeah, I'll show you later because I do have the shipyards for all the Klingon ships, and some of them are nuts.
Yeah, I've got a few of the models because of the now presumably late Eagle Moss. They even have their own bird of prey.
Yeah, every so often, because in the shipyards books they link to Eagle Moss, and every so often I'll click the link, and literally all it is a little error 404 in the corner. Not even taking up the whole screen, just in the corner.
It's
It's
amazing
very
how
sad.
quickly it collapsed. It was like literally days.
That's so sad. I
I
love
feel-
our little Eagle Moss ships.
I feel like some of the sites in other languages are still up, but I don't know if they're working. Yeah, so those are the Klingon ships I wanted to talk about today. They really like necks and wings.
They do. They do.
The gizzards.
Yum. Cut me off a slice.
I actually think I even have
Delicious.
this ship, but I haven't put it out because it's way bigger than all the other models, and I have nowhere to fucking put it.
Yeah, all that it's like it looks like the Iron Throne at the end of their nacelles.
A little bit.
On their, I'm gonna say Bussard collectors, but I don't know if that's what they use them for on a Klingon ship.
Let's go with sure.
It's just let's have a whole bunch of stabby stuff on the end of our ship, just in
feels
case.
Klingon.
It's so extra. It's the most extra one.
It really is. But again, it makes sense when you think of it as belonging to a cult leader.
I like that. That's a good point, Jake. All right. Meanwhile, if you're wondering what points we just made and you haven't been following these on our Tumblr,
Which you should have been.
You should have been. All these images are up on our Tumblr. Check them out there. I'll probably have written some snark. I usually do.
Yay, I love AIM's snark.
So much snark.
It's the finest snark.
Yeah, so you can check out all these there at sshbpodcast.com. Because next week we're going to be talking about more alien ships, and that'll also be a good time. Also next week we're talking more Voyager.
Woo!
Who's surprised?
V'ger.
Episodes next week are going to be Mortal Coil and Waking Moments. So look forward to that.
I will.
In the meantime, catch up on all the other episodes if you've missed any. They're all up on our SoundCloud or, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're there. You can also chat with us on the Facebook or the Twitter. We're there as well. We don't do much, but we're here. We're here. I'm Ames. It's fine.
I'm Caitlin.
Jake.
I don't know where to go with this. This is always Chris.
Tell the people your name. There you go.
I don't have anything witty. My voice is gone. Find a witty thing.
Maltz. Shoe.
Why?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something Klingon, and that's the only Klingon I know because of Shatner.
I thought you were trying to speak Italian like Da Vinci.
Beautiful.
Okay, here it is.
Jake has a major
It's not
prediction.
a real prediction. I don't actually expect this to happen.
Darth Maul.
I was like,
This
this
is-
is the
this
guy that called Darth Maul.
This is a
so-
Darth Maul level prediction. So we were joking about how Harry Kim is still going to be an ensign in the future of Star Trek. And I say, knowing that the captain of the Cerritos was,
Spoiler.
spoiler, arrested
Oh.
at the end of the last
Didn't-
season.
Didn't give him a chance to skip ahead.
Whatever. This isn't even going in the episode. This is just for
might.
Chris
This
to
is for
say.
this is for posterity.
It might go in the episode if it's right, but it won't be. Okay, so captain's out of the picture. They need a new captain for the ship. So, in a highly unusual move, they directly promote Harry Kim from ensign to captain, and then something bad happens, and by the end of the episode, he's been demoted back to ensign. There you go.
Sounds like a Lower Decks plot to me.
It
does.
does, doesn't it? Like, that sounds like
I
exactly
mean,
something they would do.
I've seen 3 episodes, but yeah, that sounds about right. I hate Boimler so much.
I don't mind Boimler. I hate Mariner so much.
Oh, I hate her too. I hate them both. That's why I couldn't keep up with the show. Like, I liked every other character, but the 2 leads make me want to scream.
They soften by season 2.
Good.
They get less entirely aggravating, but it's still, like, it's a show mostly of references, so. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Lower Decks.
We are not, thank
Let's
God.
see
Not
if
yet,
That's still a
anyway.
few years off.